A common concern about COVID-19 vaccines is, how do we know the vaccines are safe? This is a great question. We are able to assure the safety of these vaccines both before we give them to the general public and after they are authorized or approved by the FDA and CDC. Before vaccines are approved for widespread use, they are studied in a clinical trial, which studies the vaccine in large groups of people to make sure they are safe and effective. The Moderna clinical trial enrolled more than 30,000 people. The Pfizer and the Johnson & Johnson vaccines were tested in more than 43,000 people each. These are similar clinical trial sizes to other recently licensed vaccines as well. It's also important to point out that the COVID-19 vaccine clinical trials were similar to the clinical trials used for traditional vaccine development. In all the clinical trials, the vaccine was well tolerated and there were no serious safety concerns reported. Participants came from many different backgrounds and included a wide range of ages, races, and ethnicities. Next, the FDA established strict standards for how well the vaccine had to work and how safe it had to be in order for a vaccine to be approved through emergency use authorization, which is also known as EUA. For example, any vaccine approved for emergency use had to be at least 50% effective. One FDA safety standard I do want to specifically mention is the requirement that any vaccine approved for emergency use must have 2 months of safety monitoring data. When you look at safety data from other vaccines, we see that more than 90% of adverse events related to vaccination occur within 6 weeks of receiving that vaccination. So knowing this, the FDA said that the COVID-19 vaccine candidates had to have at least 2 months of post-vaccination safety monitoring data on half of the participants, and that was to allow enough time for adverse events to occur and be reported. There were no serious adverse events reported in this time frame, which helps assure us that these vaccines are safe. As vaccines are administered, we continue to monitor them for safety. So far, over 200 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered in the United States, and the vaccines have undergone the most extensive vaccine safety monitoring in history. As of today, April 16th, the CDC and the FDA have not found any safety concerns with the Pfizer or Moderna COVID-19 vaccines, and the data continues to tell us that these vaccines look to be extremely safe. A vaccine safety signal was identified for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine after it was authorized by the FDA. The event, which included blood clots and low platelet counts in 6 individuals, appears to have been an extremely rare side effect, and it's currently estimated to occur in about 1 out of every 1.13 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine administered. As of today, the FDA and CDC have paused the use of this vaccine for the time being to determine if the vaccine is causing this very rare event. Knowing that this rare event was picked up by our safety monitoring systems should be reassuring to the general public. It tells us that our safety monitoring systems work as they are intended and that the United States takes vaccine safety very seriously. Overall, COVID-19 vaccines appear to be very safe.